I'm pretty busy in my day-to-day life, but I do take time to read all the comments, all the positive ones, negative ones. And I will say that there's definitely been a lot of negative ones as of late. A lot of people seem to be falling into the current narrative, and that is that everything is crap and prices are just going to keep falling and that ADA and Cardano are dead. And I think a lot of people are very confused about short-term price performance versus long-term sustainable growth. And that's exactly what Cardano is doing right now. And I can prove it to you guys. So if you are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this is very much a repeat of last year. And what I mean by that is we had gotten down to those quiet times where there wasn't a whole lot going on, and it seemed like there was just no end in sight for this drop in terms of price. Now, what I will say is that we still have not set a lower low from all the way back here in the early part of February, which is a great sign. And that is because when it comes to Cardano, we do have very good conviction. And what I will say is that even at these times where the prices haven't been that great, we are still seeing good fundamental growth when it comes to Cardano. In fact, when we look at just the last 60 days alone, we have actually climbed now to 5.4 million wallets for ADA, and there have been just 100,000 wallets created in the last 60 days alone. So yeah, people are very much interested in what Cardano is doing. There are lots of new holders that are entering the ecosystem and taking advantage of these cheap prices here. And what we are continuing to see, guys, is just this accumulation and hoarding of supply, removing it from exchanges. And again, this will really impact price when demand is high, when we are seeing adoption take place. We're not seeing that right now. We have not seen that in quite some time. We had little bursts of it back in, early 2024, back in November, but it has not been our traditional alt season. It has not been those times where you have huge portions of population flowing into the crypto market. There hasn't been enough excitement, and we've had too much negative news around the space. And right now we are seeing a lot of people fall for the current narrative, and that is that everything's garbage and it's falling to crap. But yet we're seeing some pretty big steps forward in terms of Cardano. This is what gets you out at the end of this, and sends you to new highs. First of all, we've actually had $29.7 million worth of ADA removed from exchanges this week alone. We're halfway through the week. This already dwarfs the prior 2 weeks. We're on pace to have probably one of the largest weeks we have seen here. Oh gosh, since first week of March. Then that's I think a pretty big sign. It shows that people are actively buying the dip and helping defend price. That's a great sign. But how could you not with some of these developments that are taking place? Now, what this I thought was actually a really big one that I wanted. This was kind of the whole premise for this video. USDA, Cardano's compliant stablecoin, now supports fiat off-ramps to bank accounts in 48 countries with real-time settlement via Encryptus. This is a really big deal because we know that Cardano has really traditionally not had a fiat off-ramp per se. There might be some smaller ones that I'm not aware of, but this has been a pretty big deal. It's actually a big reason why we've talked a lot about exchange supply before. It's because people were, removing ADA supply from exchanges, and it didn't really have anywhere to go. So you knew people were hoarding it. So maybe this changes things just a little bit, but I will say that this is a pretty big deal because we are opening up the easier pathways of accessibility to Cardano. This is something that can also cause USDA to see some significant growth. It's a stable coin that when we talk about the Cardano ecosystem, the one that we talked about potentially having the most growth from a native built stable. So maybe that's something, maybe it's not, but I definitely wanted to bring it up to you guys nonetheless. Also, another interesting thing by Input Output, and that was that chief scientist Aggelos Kiaias, hopefully I said that right, probably wrong, says ZK proofs could enable AI systems to prove their capabilities in milliseconds. For example, an AI health assistant could prove it correctly diagnosed 1,000 medical cases before your consultation. So when we talk about Cardano, we keep talking about real world asset tokenization. We're talking about AI more. We're talking about infrastructure. We're seeing some of the biggest developments take place right now. And the only downside to this is it's kind of falling on deaf ears. A lot of people are ignoring this, and they're so focused on price and they're not focused on progress. That is where this huge disconnect is. And progress in the times of shit are what are going to take you well beyond where things are at now, well beyond where things were at in December. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you noticing this progress? Are you paying attention? Or are you just being blinded by price performance currently? But have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.